Hi there, Dr. Nick Jensen here from Divine Elements Naturopathic, and I'm bringing to you episode 3 on detox, on what to eat, and describing what the difference between food allergy and food sensitivity is. So this is important for me because I test my food sensitivities quite regularly because I know what it means to eat a good diet, as does every patient who walks through our door, or so they say. So I want to speak to that first, and the reality is most of us, or definitely in clinic, when I'm asking people what they eat, they say, oh, don't worry about it, my diet's great, it's fantastic. I eat whole foods and whole grains and all these wonderful things, and so we don't even have to talk about that because I've got it taken care of. And this is the reality, and I can totally relate because I've been there. I always thought that everything that I was putting into my body was perfect, and clearly it wasn't. So here's the reality: is that often we're eating things that are driving up that toxicity, and it's basically in the form of inflammation. And so when we're constantly exposing ourselves little by little, even if we're having this much, everybody who says, oh, I don't have much dairy, I just have this much in my coffee. Well, your immune system doesn't care if you have this much or if you've had a whole plate full. Your immune system's micro-tuned to any sort of insult that can come in, and insult would be in the form of food sensitivity. Because essentially what that's doing is just re-amplifying the inflammatory fire that's there inside your body. So I'm going to show you my food sensitivity test, and then I'm going to talk to you about the difference between food sensitivity and a food allergy. Okay. So this is a test that I did back in, where's the date? Back in 2011. So the top section here is all dairy. So soybeans on there, egg white and egg yolk, cow's milk, cottage cheese, those are fairly common. And then I've got some nuts and seeds like peanut and walnut, sesame. And actually I was allergic to peanut as a kid, so that's still showing high. A few things in the meat and seafood, not too much. Wheat's a little bit elevated, and cinnamon's a little high, tobacco's high, candida slightly elevated. Otherwise the test looks pretty good. Garlic shows some elevations. So here's the thing, is that most of these foods that I am eating or avoiding are in relation to the foods that I see coming up as a problem or not. So you don't really know if you're eating a good diet unless, of course, you find out if it's actually working for you. So here's an updated test that I did just not too long ago, and I'm seeing egg whites show up as well. So that was on the first test, 2011, and casein, milk. So some of the dairies are still elevated for me, which I don't have a lot in my diet. Barley, wheat's a little bit elevated, amaranth. So some of the grains, I mean, we don't eat a lot of grains anyways. We're pretty much not eating any grains, I guess, but there are still a few things that are elevated. And then the fruits look pretty good. Oranges a little bit, fig, guava. And scrolling down, now being that I'm mostly vegetarian, the part that hits home for me the most is on the nuts and seeds. So on the previous test I showed you, almond wasn't high, but guess what? It's high on this one. Peanuts are still high, just like before, but cashew nuts are also high. Soybeans still a little bit high, pistachio, hazelnut, pea, and Brazil nuts. So because I get some of my vegetable proteins through nuts and seeds, it really forces me to make changes here. And even though I'm eating, quote-unquote, a healthy diet, there's still things inside my diet that need adjustments. So when I hear people say, I'm eating a really healthy diet, I believe you, I do, but your body is possibly telling you a totally different story. So I just quickly want to break down the difference between an allergy and a sensitivity. An allergy is something that usually causes upper respiratory type problems. It can be anaphylactic in nature, so it can be quite serious for some people. Those more serious allergies would require an EpiPen that you carry around with you. Now the difference between that and a sensitivity is called a delayed hypersensitivity reaction. It can happen the moment you eat something, just like an allergy, but it can last up to 5 days or longer. Meaning you can have something in your diet only once a week, but it's creating this chronic inflammatory process. So next time you say the words, I'm eating a really healthy diet, you don't know unless you can actually see what your physiology is doing and how these biochemical processes are at play. Are you actually eating a healthy diet but driving inflammation without really knowing? So that's what I've got for you today. On the next talk, we'll be diving into some more things regarding detox. But being that food is such an important part of the detox process, you got to know if what you're eating is serving you or making things worse. That's it for today. Thank you very much.